Hello everyone. Welcome back to our channel, Canada Immigration. We hope you're doing great. For the year, one of the most well-known and effective schemes for Canadian immigration has finally come to an end. Now is the time to review the cards. Well, in this episode, we'll discuss how the program functioned, how many individuals were invited, what type of draws were conducted, what adjustments were made in the specific year, what kinds of scores and cutoffs may be anticipated in 2023, and what significant changes were made concerning express entrance. At the end of the episode, we'll also discuss recent updates and announcements on Canadian immigration. So, to get all the information, pay attention and watch the video through to the end. Please hit like and subscribe, and don't forget to push the notification bell for upcoming episodes. So, without any further delay, let's jump into the video. Therefore, today's major issue is discussing the well-known Express Entry program, how it functioned in 2022, and what significant modifications will be made in 2023. Many people who are outside of Canada now benefit greatly from the Express Entry program, and thousands of people both inside and outside of Canada frequently use it to apply for permanent residency. People can claim points using the IRCC's online application system, and once they do so, they are either placed in the FSW or CEC categories, along with the Federal Skilled Trades, Federal Skilled Worker, and Canadian Experience class. You would either perceive yourself as fitting into the FSW category, which is a federal script worker if you tried to build a profile in Express Entry. People in the trades, such as plumbers and electricians, would find themselves fitting in the FSD category. If you had Canadian experience, you would view yourself as fitting in the CEC, the Canadian Express class. Even though each of these categories has unique needs, draws are the main emphasis. Every 15 days or every 2 weeks, the IRCC organizes a draw, and everyone who is seated above this draw is encouraged to apply for permanent residency. They might also have draws every month, or whatever often they like, but typically speaking it is every fortnight. They have 60 days to submit the required paperwork online to IRCC, which will process it and give the applicant a permanent residence visa so they may enter Canada. This is the whole procedure, then. Now, the Expression program has been in operation for a while, but regrettably, because of COVID, they ceased holding draws in 2020, which meant that individuals could no longer obtain these permanent residence visas and had to turn to alternative schemes. As an illustration, consider the PNP and other programs that are coming to Canada now. The drawings ceased in 2020, but they eventually started up again in 2022. It is why the year 2022 is unique in that the IRCC opted to commence the drawings in July. They began with a 1,500 cutoff, 1,500 invitations at a 557 cutoff, and ultimately reached the November 23 draw of 491 numbers. Unfortunately, there were only 4,750 invites distributed for the 491 draw, which was the last draw for the year 2022. They began implementing changes to the NOC system, which determines how Canada views your occupation. In November 2022 they, therefore, started experiencing problems with the Express Entry system after implementing the NOC 2021 system. Now, due to bugs in the balancing system, applicants for the PNP and other programs started earning ITAs even though they did not fulfill the minimal requirements. For instance, individuals who were not meant to fall under the Canadian Experience class group received ITAs. As a result, chaos ensued, and individuals began to get invites and submit files. When IRCC discovered that error, it decided to halt the draws once more. Sadly, almost the whole month of December has already passed without these sketches making a return. There hasn't been a draw at all in December, and many are still waiting. Express Entry is one of the most effective systems overall, but if you look at the draws currently, 491 happens to be quite high for someone to reach that particular draw. You're looking at people who, for example, may have relatives living in Canada, who are fluent in both English and French, who have a master's degree and more than 3 years of experience, and who, of course, do add their Canadian experience to bring an SCO, among other requirements. Overall, 491 is a very high draw at the time. Nevertheless, we are just referring to this draw since it was the final straw, even though it is a higher draw. There are just a few significant ways to fall into that particular category when you're talking about a draw that is that high. We will now divide the public into two sections, one for those without Canadian experience, and one for those with it. Unfortunately, there are only two avenues available to those who reside outside of Canada to get that score. If you want to score above 490, you should consider learning French or pursuing job offers. The LMIA section can get you there if you are between the ages of 28 and 29 and have a master's degree. You should also have at least 3 years of international experience. Additionally, you should probably have a sibling who lives in Canada. Scores of 478, 480, or 485 will put you in the zone where you will gain extra points. Another place where people have contributed to the experience is when extremely proficient English speakers who have likely previously earned a master's degree or a certificate from Canada have gone on to engage in Canadian experiences. These are the individuals who achieve scores exceeding 500. The reason we are seeing so many high draws above 500 is that the public's interest in Canadian education is on the rise overall. If you look at the report card that was provided by the IRCC themselves last year, it stated that they had processed a record number of work permits and student permits, with over 600,000 student permits having been processed. Talking about what 2023 will look like now. The upcoming year is likely to be quite dramatic for two primary reasons. First, Bill C19 has been implemented. Second, it was authorized in July 2022 and will be implemented in 2023. We already know that the IRCC will introduce its invitation buckets in the spring of 2023, and that the bill's real implementation won't happen until the following summer. You probably already know that Bill C19 effectively grants IRCC the freedom or authority to select the types of persons they wish to accept. For instance, if the IRCC minister states, "I want truck drivers above 350, Canadian experienced workers over 400, and federal skilled workers over 500. Those are the kinds of restrictions that Bill C19 is providing the IRCC, and you know the middle of 2023 is going to be dramatic because we don't know what the buckets will look like, but it's the shift that is going to be in this way. These are the buckets I want individuals in these categories to receive a draw from. Individuals with Canadian experience may be placed in a different bucket, as may those in need of basic health care, or all of the above may be, but we have yet to see that since they will be creating buckets and inviting people out of them. The second major factor that will make 2023 and the following years distinctive is that in 2023, a significant number of work permits and study permits will be handled. In addition, a significant number of public policies for open work permits will be processed. The Canadian Experience class category is one that IRCC is particularly focused on expanding. In addition to issuing work permits, they also provide spousal open work points so that the entire family may move there. Extensions of study permits have been made simple and automatic, giving people the freedom to study here and then seek a permit with a greater range. If you look at the public policies and everything Canadian immigration is attempting to achieve, they are bringing individuals here on temporary status, and forcing them to work here for several years so that they can establish their eligibility for permanent residency. So you see, there has been a paradigm shift. Previously, people from outside Canada could come here directly and receive a PR. Now, they want people to first come here temporarily. On the surface, this change hasn't been publicly acknowledged, but if you look at the programs, you can easily see it. This is the change that we're referring to. In the next years, having Canadian experience will make you a stronger candidate. We might be incorrect, but this is what we're assuming because FSW draws have already increased. Overall, express entry will still be a key tool going forward. The IRCC has finally grasped this tool, however, and they are changing it under Bill C19. They will use it to their advantage, and they have already received approval under this provision, so we won't know what changes are coming until the summer of 2023. If you want to become a permanent resident, you might want to think about study permits and work permits if you are currently studying French. Now, in the end, let us discuss what the Canada travel rules are and to whom they are implemented, and to whom they are not so. If you're traveling from China, Macau, or Hong Kong, you must demonstrate the latest COVID-19 negative report. For India, it is not compulsory, you may travel without the report now. If we talk about the number of immigrants who came to Canada in 2022, is more than 400,000. That is all for today, in this video. What are your thoughts on this? Please let us know in the comments section below. Thanks for watching the entire video. Hopefully, the information is useful to you. See you later, in the next episode. Till then, take care.